The Clarity Act is on the Senate floor right now, and it could be the biggest thing to happen to crypto this year, but I doubt it will pass. To explain, we will need to look into what the act actually is all about. For years, digital assets and by extension crypto has been in regulatory limbo. The SEC isn't providing guidance and it gives out penalties for breaking the rules. That is by itself not clear. This act came to solve this issue. It's separate who is the overseeing agency, the CFTC or the SEC. Coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP are deemed to be sufficiently decentralized and are categorized as digital commodities, making them under the CFTC, while the SEC will handle the rest. A project can also tell the SEC if they are sufficiently decentralized to be transferred to being a digital commodity after the SEC check their reports. This separation will create a more coherent and clear rules to follow. If you are a digital commodity, follow CFTC rules. If you are not, then follow SEC's rule. Simple. Then came the new guardrails. Learning from the disastrous FTX collapse in 2022, this act makes sure that brokers, centralized exchanges, and dealers separate their operating balances with customer funds. Also, it makes crypto companies not registered as liabilities in the financial statement of a financial company as deemed by the SEC's controversial SEP 121 guidelines. All of this is to help crypto grow more naturally and are not hindered with massive regulatory burden. This meant that as crypto grows, use cases emerge and integration also emerges, and that is bullish for Bitcoin as well as the entire crypto market. But the banks don't like it. The banks argue that DeFi have an unfair advantage against them, as they don't have to follow the Bank Secrecy Act and the anti-money laundering laws, which is a cost that the banks had to endure to operate. They also wanted DeFi customers to do KYC, or Know Your Customers. Second, they are afraid of stablecoins. They know how convenient it is and are afraid that people will pull their deposits, especially when firms like Coinbase are offering yield on their stables. They are afraid of the deposit flight, where customers will pull their money away from the banks into the stablecoin market, making these banks struggling to issue mortgages, working capital loans, etc., essentially making the bank out of business. Well, this case has been solved by making it illegal to offer yield on stablecoin passively, but legal to offer rewards for activity-based like, loyalty programs, transaction cashbacks, platform usage, etc., which both parties seem to agree. The third and biggest issue right now is the ethics part. Many people, especially the Democrats, raised concerns that deregulating crypto or loosening the regulation on crypto will directly benefit President Trump and his families, as they are also in the industry, and this also a massive conflict of interest that is very, very blatant. Anyways, the bill is in the Senate right now to be voted upon, and it needed 60 votes to pass, with only 53 Republicans and 45 Dems and 2 independent. They need to somehow convince another 7 Democrats or 7 other senators to vote. With the August Senate recess looming, this July is the last chance of getting this bill to pass this year, since the midterm election, where all the House of Representatives seats and 1/3 of the Senate seats get voted on November 3rd. This meant that September and October will probably be used by the senators as campaigning time, making the bill a back burner. Also, this midterm might change the overall structure of the Senate to be less Republican-dominated, as the recent conflict with Iran, rising energy and goods costs, and others are lowering the support for the president and, in extension, his party. In my personal opinion, knowing how hard-headed Elizabeth Warren is, and that she is also probably know July is the last chance this bill will pass, I would not see the act passing in July, sadly. I mean, we can lie all we want, but I think that the current economy and also citizens these senators represent have more important issues to handle, and that is the rising cost of living and lowering of people's quality of life. If the midterms were still Republicanly dominated, then the chances of next year being the year that the bill is passed is high. But if it's shifted to be a more equal or more Democratic dominated, it will make pressing this bill extremely hard and might be impossible under Trump's remaining year in office. Listen, the Clarity Act not passing might be the catalyst for lower Bitcoin prices in the future, aligning with the October bottom narrative if you are following the 4-year cycle. But it is not the end of the world, guys, okay? Crypto will just need to combat these headwinds again as we already did all these years prior. I feel that even if the bill passed anyways, it will likely be a seldom used event, a small pump before a crash. Is the Clarity Act important for crypto? Yes, I think for the long term. I believe clearer rules make it easier for people to build, to create value, to provide a service to society, and that in turn will boost demand and the price of crypto assets, obviously. But short-term wise, we need to change the public perception of crypto. Remember, people remember pain. 2024, meme coin mania and rug pulls everywhere. 2025, political meme coin and flip-flopping of tariff caused crypto to be very volatile and seemingly corrupt in the eyes of the general public. 2026, where exploits and hacks, scams occurred and even used as toll payments in case of Iran blocking the Strait of Hormuz. The public is essentially at the end of the day the Senate, and if we want the Senate to pass the act, we need to change our public image. Make sure to subscribe and like this video. Stay safe, guys, stay curious, and I'll see you guys next time.